The Gifts of the Little People, an Irish fairy tale. Once upon a time in a small Irish village, there lived a kind and humble man named Seamus. He was a poor farmer, but despite his hardships, he was always willing to help others and never spoke an unkind word. His neighbor, Fergus, was the opposite, greedy and selfish, always seeking wealth without effort. One evening, as Seamus walked home through the forest, he heard soft laughter and tiny voices singing. Curious, he followed the sound and discovered a group of little people, fairy folk, dancing in a clearing under the moonlight. Their tiny feet barely touched the ground, and their eyes sparkled like stars. "Good evening to you all," Seamus said politely, bowing his head. The little people stopped and looked at him. "You have manners, human," one of them said. "Few of your kind would greet us so kindly." Encouraged, Seamus complimented their dancing and music. The fairies, pleased by his sincerity, invited him to join them. Though hesitant, Seamus accepted, and to his amazement, he found himself moving with a lightness he had never felt before. He danced until dawn, laughing alongside the fairies. As the sun rose, the fairies said, "You have a good heart, Seamus. Take this gift," and they handed him a small pouch filled with golden coins. "It will never empty, as long as you use it wisely and share with those in need." Seamus thanked them with deep gratitude and returned home, where he found that the pouch truly gave him coins whenever he needed them. He used his newfound fortune to help his neighbors, repairing houses, feeding the hungry, and giving work to the poor. Fergus, upon hearing of Seamus's luck, burned with jealousy. He demanded to know how Seamus had come by such wealth, and when he learned of the little people, he set out into the forest that very night, determined to claim a treasure for himself. When he found the fairies dancing, he stomped into their circle without a greeting and barked, "Give me gold, little people." The fairies fell silent. "You demand, but do not ask," one of them said. "I am a great man and deserve riches," Fergus declared. The fairies exchanged glances, then smiled mischievously. "Very well, take this gift," they said, handing him a heavy sack. Greedy with excitement, Fergus ran home and tore it open, expecting to find gold. Instead, out leapt hundreds of tiny, mischievous creatures, sprites and pixies, who swarmed his house, overturning furniture, hiding his food, and tangling his clothes. They caused such chaos that Fergus had to flee, abandoning his home in disgrace. Meanwhile, Seamus continued to live happily, sharing his endless fortune and kindness with all. The fairies, pleased with his generosity, watched over him for the rest of his days. And so, the lesson remained: kindness is rewarded, while greed brings only trouble.